Hey, we're going to talk about fruits and vegetables. Do you guys know what a fruit is? Got strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, right? But did you know that a fruit comes from the ovary of a flowering plant and has one or more seeds? This is a fruit. Cucumber is a fruit. Well, yeah, this could be considered a fruit as well. It's got seeds. That's a zucchini. Squash is a fruit. Tomatoes are fruits. So these fruits and vegetables are the perfect accompaniment for a dish, a main dish. These vegetables with all the color have lots of nutrients that your body needs. You might say that these fruits are sweet, just like candy. Well, they are, but this is natural sugar. Fruits and vegetables should be plump. They should be free of bruises. They should have a nice firm texture to them, or soft, depending on what fruit or vegetable it is. This one on the vine, obviously, is a great product. They should not have any brown spots or pest damage. Overall, the color should be appropriate to the fruit or vegetable that you are purchasing. Fruits are grouped by growing season. Summer fruits like strawberries, blackberries, or raspberries grow in the summer, in the summer months when it's warm. There are also winter fruits. Winter fruits are like apples and oranges, lemons and limes. Then you have tropical fruits like bananas, mangoes, figs, passion fruit, star fruit. Those are considered tropical fruits. They grow in a region that is down by the equator. Some fruits are available all year round. They'll ship them from anywhere to anywhere. But you have to think about that when you're buying. If you're a sustainable person, you might not want to buy those products that are coming from halfway around the world. The quality, the ripeness, the price are all variables when you consider buying something out of season. During a fruit's growing season, supply is plentiful. You can get them anywhere, and the price is usually lower. Fruits and vegetables are graded by size, by color, shape, and texture. Well, how do you store your fruits? Well, fruits can be stored at 41 degrees in your refrigerator, but I like to store them how they are stored at the grocery store. Most fruits and vegetables come in boxes in a non-refrigerated truck, so I like to store my fruits and vegetables that way, especially bananas and tomatoes. If possible, you should store your fruits and vegetables separately in their own separate refrigeration. Certain fruits emit ethylene gas, which causes the fruits to ripen. The reason why I like to keep my fruits and vegetables at room temperature, or how they were stored at the grocery store, is because they need to be kept dry, free of moisture. In your refrigerator, you're going to have some moisture. That causes mold, it causes your fruits and vegetables to over-ripen, and they become soft. The texture is not right. Fruits that need to ripen, when you get them, need to be stored at 65 to 75 degrees, room temperature. Just throw them in your closet or throw them on a shelf in your kitchen, anywhere where they can stay about that temperature range. When you're preparing fruits and vegetables, the first thing you need to do is clean them. The next step in preparing them is doing things like removing the skin, removing the pits or the seeds out of the center, removing the stems, removing the stems off of your Swiss chard, removing the vine. Use a sharp knife when you're cutting fruits and vegetables, because if you use a dull knife, you're going to bruise the fruit. You can juice those fresh fruits and vegetables if you like. You can eat them raw, or you can cook them. You can dry fruit. You can take these berries and put them in an oven at a really low temperature, and you can dry them. That's a good option. You can dry your tomatoes too. Sun-dried tomatoes are a great product. You can dry your herbs. Most chefs like to use fresh herbs, but there are places for dry herbs. Are a good option, and they last year round. First thing you're going to want to do when you're cooking fruit is you're going to want to clean them. Then you're going to want to peel them if they need peeling. Next thing is slicing, removing the seeds and slicing them. There's a chemical process called enzymatic browning. It happens when you cut a fruit or vegetable. The oxygen in the air makes it turn brown. A lot of fruits and vegetables can be stored in water. Potatoes, if you peel a potato, if you put it in cold water, it will keep it from browning. You can also put lemon juice in the water, or you could store things in lemon juice. You can take an avocado and put lemon juice on the cut avocado, and it will keep it from browning. When you're cooking fruit, use sugar. Sugar helps to firm the flesh as it cooks. It soaks into the cells and helps it to firm up as you cook it. You can grill them as well, but if you grill them, make sure it's fast because they will break down and fall apart. You can also simmer them. You can take pears or apples and simmer them in a water and lemon juice and sugar, and then serve that with some fresh whipped cream. You can saute them with butter, sugar, and spices, and it makes them taste great. You can make sauces with them. One of the most popular is applesauce. You can make coulis. Those are great for dessert dishes. Fruit sauces are made by cooking the fruit down in a liquid. You can add sugar or honey after that. You can even put mint to add some flavor, or other spices like cinnamon. If you want to bake fruit, choose a fruit that is firm, like an apple or a pear. They stand up to the cooking process a little better. When you do that, you clean and peel, slice them. You can coat them in sugar or honey, a little salt. Then you put them in the oven and you cook them. You can also slice the fruit and put it on a plate. Fruit plates are very popular these days. Serve that at room temperature. Cut them fresh to order as well. A vegetable is an edible herb-like plant. The edible parts of the vegetable include the greens, like on this, the roots, like in these tubers right here, or the onions. Flower vegetables include broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage. Fruit vegetables include avocados, tomatoes, peppers, squash and zucchini, cucumber. Those are all fruit vegetables. Green leafy vegetables are like this romaine here, or Swiss chard, turnip greens, collard greens. Those are all green leafy vegetables. Spring greens are the new leafy parts of a vegetable, like this. This would be considered a spring green. You could see mesclun mix if you go to your grocery store. They're usually in packages, plastic packages or bags. You can get baby spinach, you can get arugula. Those are all considered spring greens. There are field mixes that have multiple radicchio, little baby spinach, arugula all mixed together. There are some seed vegetables too, like corn and beans, pole beans, green beans. Root vegetables include radishes, carrots, turnips, and onions. Those are all root vegetables. Tubers are like these. This is a russet potato and a sweet potato. And then you have stem vegetables like asparagus, artichokes, and mushrooms. And what are the different kinds of farms? Well, you have the organic farms, conventional farms, which are outdoor grown. You also have hydroponic farms and indoor greenhouse farms. Hydroponic farms are the farms that are grown, vegetables and fruits are grown in water. So how about storing the fruits and vegetables? Well, tubers and root vegetables need to be stored in a cool, dry place in your house. If possible, fruits and vegetables should be stored in separate refrigerators. Most vegetables need to be kept dry because the moisture will ruin the product. And you shouldn't wash or peel or cut these until they're ready to be used. Put a tomato like this that you get in the window, and the sun and the heat coming through the window will help it to ripen. Green vegetables like this need to be, the leafy ones need to be handled carefully. They will bruise when you put them in your refrigerator. Don't stack anything on top of them because it'll ruin the product. I like to wash my greens if I'm going to use them as a salad mix in really cold water. That way it crisps them up, and I like to dry them before I actually store them. If I don't have the opportunity or the equipment or whatever it takes to dry them, I wait until I need it, and then I wash a few pieces and cut it that way for the salad that I'm going to eat. So when you're about to prepare a vegetable, you want to make sure that you clean the vegetable good. There's dirt from where it grows out in the ground. They don't wash these before they bring them to you, unless they're in a packaging that says pre-washed, like the mesclun mix, field greens. So you're going to want to wash this. And then if you want to peel it, you need to peel it. I personally don't like to peel my zucchini, but sometimes I'll peel my cucumber. You're going to want to use a sharp knife and a cutting board that's at a height that's comfortable to you. A table like this, kind of waist high, is good. When you're peeling these vegetables, you might want to have a container there that you can put the peelings in. These can be used outside in something else, or you could possibly juice them as well. So before we get started in cutting vegetables, you want to make sure you have your green cutting board. You can put a damp towel underneath to keep it from sliding around. And again, you want to have your cutting board at waist level where it's comfortable. You want to peel your vegetables. Make sure to reserve the peelings. because these peelings can be used in your garden or to feed pigs, livestock, especially pigs, if you've got a farmer that you can give them to. In a restaurant situation, you're going to have lots of this, and that's a good reuse of product that you're not going to be using. So you get your peeling done. We're going to put the potato right into the ice water. It's going to keep it from browning. Onions. You're going to cut off the top, basically. That's the top. And I like to go ahead and cut just a tiny bit of this root part, because I don't like the little the hairs, the roots, to be in the food that I'm cutting, that I'm cooking. And then that way it just stays away, and I don't have to worry about it. We're going to hold our knife, pinching the blade, and we're going to have our hand wrapped around the high part of the handle and our fingers underneath. We're going to cut right down the middle, just like that. We're going to peel off. Now, an onion, you can cut these in many different ways. We're going to look at, I think, 3 today. We're going to look at the julienne. We're going to look at a dice, which is basically a medium dice, and then I think we're going to do a fine dice as well. So the onion has all these layers on the inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a couple cuts through have your hand on top, and it holds it steady so the different layers don't come apart. So we're going to make 2 cuts, one here, one here. We might even do a 3rd cut, depending on the size. You don't want to go all the way through. You want to go right to, not like that, but you want to go right to the end, like these other ones here. That's why I like to leave this end on, so it doesn't do that. Make sure your knife is sharp. This one we're going to come down, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're only going to take the knife back to where you could see that we're doing little 1/4 inch cuts. This is a dice. It's hard to do slow. I typically do this fast. You can already see that we have these little dice pieces. So then all you do is you square it up, take your hand like a claw, and just cut the same size all the way back. That little piece is going to come off all the way back. So then you end up with these pieces that are all very uniform. And that's it. That's how you cut an onion. You can also julienne this. Julienne is a 1/4 inch strip. You can julienne it like that. That's good for fajitas. It's even good for doing a vegetable dish in a saute pan. You can even do a chiffonade, which is just a paper thin, as thin as you can cut it, still using the claw, but it's basically like a little thin cut. You can see the difference between the two. It's a very thin cut. I'm going to show you a chiffonade on this romaine here too. I won't cut this other onion. When you're doing a chiffonade on a green or on an herb, you roll it up like this. On these, you want to make sure that you have a really sharp knife, because it'll bruise the leaf. And you just do a really thin cut. These work great with herbs, because the herbs you can then, kind of a vanity cut, but then you can kind of sprinkle this on top. Kind of looks good, gives it some height on your dish. Great with basil, kind of the leafy herbs, but that's another cut right there. Now let's do, I'm gonna do a small dice. So we're gonna do the same thing, and I'm gonna make sure that I get this right this time, so you guys know that I can do it. Remember to peel, save your peels. These end pieces of the onion can be used for your stock as well. All right, now we're ready. So I'm gonna do this a little faster this time, but we're gonna do a couple of cuts down through. Then we're gonna do a fine dice here. You can see that the knife is not going all the way through, or not all the way to the back, to the root. So we're doing a smaller dice this time. This is a 1/8 dice. You can see the difference between, you know, this and this. But it gives you a nice cut. So there's the difference between the two. And then I'm gonna save these for a vegetable I'm doing later. Potatoes. When you are dicing a potato, the potato is round or it's kind of oblong. So what you wanna do is you wanna get a flat surface. So you're looking at this top, right? You're gonna be squaring this off, okay? So you're cutting that piece off. That can be used later too. And you're gonna do every side, squaring it off. Right here, we're gonna cut like that. We're gonna cut like that. All right, now we have a block of potato. So we're gonna cut planks. So if you wanna do brunoise, you would cut a little thin 1/8 piece, right? Then you would julienne, or you would cut strips in 1/8 pieces. And then you would dice it 1/8 piece. That is a brunoise, or a fine dice. If you want to do it in a regular dice, 1/4 inch, then you do 1/4 inch, line up your potato, and then you do 1/4 inch. This is what a lot of chefs will look at when they're hiring. Do you know how to do your different cuts? And how efficient are you? You can see the difference in sizes there. If you want to do like a French fry, we're going to do a julienne. You can take these and stack them. And you've got a French fry. These are a little off, but I think you get the gist. The more you practice, the better you're going to get at this. You can even do onion rings out of your onions. So that's just a little bit of what you can do with these. You can take these potatoes, and you could chunk these pieces and use them in a potato salad. So you could use that in a potato salad, which is good. So don't throw these pieces away.